Alberni, Pacific Rim.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. 100 properties, $706 million, a massive Liberal sell-off of public land. Clearly, the Liberal government put about as much thought into this scheme as they usually do. Mr. Speaker, this short-sighted fire sale of valuable properties triggers obligations in terms of First Nations negotiations or their right of first refusal, Honourable Speaker. To the Minister of Aboriginal Relations and Reconciliation, what lands are available? What lands are available, and when did you plan to tell First Nations about it?
Minister?
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm sure the member well knows the obligations to consult that we have as the Crown when we are disposing of Crown assets. We take those very seriously. As the Finance Minister has outlined, there will be quite a comprehensive process to identify which properties, which lands, and I want to assure the member that Crown real estate assets that have been offered for treaty are not a part of this asset sale.
The member has a supplemental.
I do, Honourable Speaker. The Minister might want to read up on case law, which says repeatedly that the onus is on the Crown to consult with First Nations, even if there's no specific land claim filed, Honourable Speaker. So the Minister, this is not good enough. Esquimalt First Nation lawyer Larry Yabsley said, and I quote, "The proposal is for the province to divest itself of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of land. That's a significant value in land to which First Nations will invariably say they have an interest," unquote. Again, to the Minister of Aboriginal Relations and Reconciliation, what consultation took place with First Nations before this government announced a $706 million budget plan to liquidate public property?
Minister?
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll repeat for the member. He well knows that we as a Crown have a duty to consult with respect to the disposition of Crown assets. We take that responsibility
My question
very
is
seriously.
who they're selling it to
Once the properties
and why.
have been identified,
You know,
then, of
what
course, we will
corporation,
engage in
because
the
I doubt it will be
appropriate
individuals
consultation. But I would
that
suggest
will
to the
buy up
member that
this
it's quite
property,
illogical
but
to
what
suggest that we
corporation
should consult
and
on
where did they
land
come
when
from
we don't know
and
what
what
they
are
might
their
be yet.
intentions? Who
Mr.
is
Speaker,
buying
I can only
this
assume that
land?
it's a result of the member being disappointed.
And where is it?
Credit.
Where is this land that's being bought?
Members?
Who,
Continue,
why,
What the
and
member's
where?
really upset about is that at the end of the day, we have such an improved relationship with First Nations that we now have treaties finalized with 7 First Nations. We have more than 70 First Nations in forest consultation revenue sharing agreements. We have mining revenue sharing agreements. We have First Nations finally taking part in the economy of British Columbia, and that's what the member objects to, Mr. Speaker.
Bell ends question period.
Can somebody say Congo?
Madam Clerk?
Unanimous consent to move Bill 203, Representative for Seniors Act, in the name of the member for Kootenay West.
Is leave granted? Not granted. Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We will continue the budget debate this afternoon.